Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, May 20th, and I'm your host, Kristen McDonald. It is great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. We have a district full of phenomenal teachers here in Norwood, and on Friday night, the Orient Lodge of Norwood honored the best of the best with its annual Norwood Teacher of the Year event. There were 19 nominees for this prestigious award, and of the 19, 5 were named finalists. This year's finalists were Katie Nambrenos from the Callahan, Nora Galvin from the Cleveland, Maureen Condon from the Prescott, Karen Wilson from the Willett, and Caitlin Nodabart from Norwood High. The event included speeches, and each nominee had their nomination submission videos played for the crowd. To announce this year's Norwood Teacher of the Year was the 2021 award winner, Patricia Kelleher.
And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome our 2021 Norwood Teacher of the Year, Patricia Kelleher, to present the presentation. I'll say we didn't get to do this in person last year, so she didn't get a party. So can we do one more big round?
Thank you. It's truly an honor and a privilege to have been invited this evening to present the 2022 Norwood Teacher of the Year Award to one of our very deserving educators. Organized annually by the Orient Lodge of Masons, the Norwood Teacher of the Year Award recognizes teachers for their dedication and commitment to the education of Norwood students. The candidates are nominated by their colleagues, parents, as well as their students themselves in appreciation for their unwavering service. To paraphrase the Oxford Dictionary's definition of a teacher or educator, it's a person who helps students acquire knowledge, competence, and virtue through communication, collaboration, adaptation, empathy, and patience. And without further ado, I'd like to congratulate. I have no idea who's in here either. And they double wrapped it, so I couldn't peek. Okay. The 2022 Norwood Teacher of the Year, representing the Cleveland Elementary School, is Nora.
I would like to thank the Orient Lodge for making this evening possible. Thank you for your unwavering support for education and educators. I may be very biased here, but I think it is laudable that the Lodge recognizes and celebrates the teaching profession. Every educator nominated tonight, every educator in this room, and in the district deserves to be honored for their dedication, talent, and particularly for the past 3 years for their resilience. When I started out, I never, ever wanted to be a teacher. I could not imagine why anyone would want to be one. Education for me began as a midlife career change. At that time, I decided to become a reading specialist. I believe that reading, the ability to read, was an essential critical skill. Reading enriches your understanding of the world and yourself. It shapes your thinking and perspective. More importantly, reading saves lives. I've also discovered that I am beholden to work in a profession that continues to astonish me in the commitment to students and learning despite all the pressures and demands. During the pandemic, teachers had to overnight make radical, personal, and professional changes and face an array of difficult choices and hard decisions, and they did it. So yes, reading is still and will always be essential, but it is the teachers who are the vital heartbeat in our learning community, and this is an award for all the teachers and every teacher.
Congrats to Nora Galvin on an honor well deserved. To watch the full event, tune into the NCM Community Channel or find it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Memorial Day is just 2 weeks away, and Norwood will be celebrating the holiday in person for the first time in 3 years.
Join the town of Norwood as they offer a special Norwood 150th Anniversary Veterans Tribute. On Sunday, May 22nd, there will be a special Norwood 150th Anniversary Veterans Tribute from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at various places in the town of Norwood, including the Norwood Senior Center, the Norwood Town Hall, the Norwood Civic Center, and Town Common. On Saturday, May 28th at 8 a.m., flags will be placed on veterans' graves at Highland Cemetery. At 3 p.m., there'll be a dedication, Norwood Vietnam Veterans Memorial Bench. That will be at the corner of East Hoyle Street and Washington Street. And on Monday, May 30th, Memorial Day, at 8 a.m., there'll be a memorial mass held at St. Catherine's of Siena Church at 549 Washington Street. At 9 a.m., the American flag at Town Hall will be lowered to half-staff. At 9:30, the parade groups will muster at Old Parish Cemetery to Washington Street. Shortly after, at 10 a.m., the parade will step off at Howard Street in Washington. As always, the parade route will be Washington Street to Winter Street to Highland Cemetery. If you'd like to know more information about these special Veterans Tributes, please contact the Norwood 150th Committee at www.norwoodma150.gov or contact Ann Haley at ahaley@norwood150.gov.
Make sure to tune into NCM with the live broadcast. We will be right back with an update from the Senior Center.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie Haley of the Norwood 150th Anniversary Committee. We'd like to invite you to a special Veterans Tribute on Sunday, May 22nd. The day will start at 11 a.m. with the raising of the flag at Town Hall and the singing of our national anthem. Following the anthem, Memorial Hall will be open to tour and to see an exhibit on World War I. At the Civic, Coakley Middle School students and veterans' families will have designed storyboards about their veterans. Also at the Civic, there'll be a table with benefit information for veterans and representatives with puppies from America's Vet Dogs. At the Town Common, there'll be reenactors of the Revolutionary War and World War II. At 2 o'clock, taps will be played on the Common. The Senior Center will also participate with memorabilia and stories on display. Shuttles will be available to and from the Senior Center. All of these events will be running from 11 to 2. At 3 o'clock, we'll be treated to a free patriotic concert put on by Parkway Concert Orchestra at the Norwood High School Auditorium. If you want to honor a vet or share your own experiences, please contact me at ahaley@norwoodma.gov. That's ahaley@norwoodma.gov. This email address can also be used if you'd like to give us a helping hand on the 22nd or the days leading up to the event. Hope to see all of you soon. Thank you.
Welcome back. With some temperatures peaking around 80 degrees this week, it seems like summer arrived overnight. One of the best ways to spend a gorgeous afternoon is by strolling around downtown Norwood. Kathleen Finn is soaking up the sun on the town common.
Oh, this is the most beautiful day that I've seen since I was in Ireland 3 years ago. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. Well, I love the common and I love Norwood, and I wanted to take the dogs out today and get them some fresh air. So we came here to have lunch at picnic tables outside.
As a reminder, the Green on Central is open every day through September for residents to use and enjoy. And stay tuned with NCM later this summer for more about the popular summer concert series schedule. With the nice weather, the Senior Center has a jam-packed schedule for the month of June. Kicking off the festivities on June 10th at the 4 Point Sheridan, where they will be celebrating Council on Aging. Carrie McCarthy has more.
Everybody, I'm here today to tell you about some exciting events we're having during the month of June here at the Norwood Senior Center. The Norwood Council on Aging is turning 50. So on June 10th, we're going to celebrate at the Sheridan 4 Points from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. This event is going to be magnificent. We are so excited. We got some funding from the Norwood 150th Committee, so the tickets are $20. That's going to include a cheese and cracker reception, soup, salad, and entree, and a dessert. It is a cash bar. And after dinner, we're going to celebrate with our good friend and entertainer, Dave Valerio. Dave is going to have that dance floor filled all night long. If you cannot afford the $20, we understand right now gas is super high, food is super expensive, we will give you a ticket. So please don't hesitate to call me, reach out. It's anonymous. I don't need any excuses. Just please call me and I can get you a ticket. We have plenty of sponsorship. After that event, we have Norwood firefighter Paul Ronco coming in on June 14th to do a demonstration and discussion on fire safety at home. Moving to the following week, we are having the United States Postal Service and the Norwood Police Department come talk about some scams that are happening locally in Norwood through the mail, through the telephone, through seniors' homes. It's happening to your neighbors, it's happening to your friends, so please come listen to this and learn ways to prevent this from happening to you. The next day, we're going to have 3 female comedians come in and do a comedy show. We will have a light lunch beforehand, and then the show will start at 1 o'clock on June 25th. The end of the month, we're going to be showing a presentation in the big room of the movie musical 1776. So we're going to have a great month here in June, lots of programs, lots of activities. If you've never been here, please come, join an exercise class, have a lunch, meet a friend, new or old, but please come into the Senior Center. Thank you.
And now we're going to toss it over to Dory Theos with some school news.
Hi guys, I'm Dory Theos, and let's take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. In Norwood High School news, earlier this year, the Social Studies Department attended a virtual professional development session with the Museum of Jewish Heritage. The teachers heard the testimony of a Holocaust survivor and found their message very powerful. The world history teachers felt that their students could greatly benefit from this experience as well. Teachers Allison Leichman and Rebecca Newman reached out to the museum, and they arranged for Erwin Forley to join them for a student through Zoom to share his experience. Mr. Forley was born in 1927 and grew up in Czechoslovakia and Hungary. After being sent into the Munkacs ghetto, Erwin and his family were deported to Auschwitz, where he performed forced labor. He was liberated by the Russian troops in 1945 and reunited with his mother and sister and immigrated to the United States in 1946. He settled in Forest Hills, Queens, became a jeweler, and built a family. Hearing the spoken word of a Holocaust survivor truly brought the topic alive for students. In the light of the rise of anti-Semitic activity in our current world, this is such an important topic for students to delve into deeper. It helps empower the students to be better global citizens in today's world. In school administration news, Superintendent Dr. David Thompson will be hosting a Facebook Live focused on the implementation of new school start times on Monday, May 23rd at 6:30 p.m. He will provide an update and answer questions regarding the implementation. An email was sent to parents if they have questions that they would like to be addressed. There will also be a recorded version of this event broadcasted by Norwood Community Media. The Coakley Middle School presents Disney's My Son Pinocchio Jr. Thursday, May 26th and Friday, May 27th at Norwood High School. Tickets are $10 and $5 for students and seniors. At the Balch School, the 5th graders went on a field trip to Gillette Stadium for a WBZ-TV Weather Day with the New England Revolution. They learned all about the weather, saw some great experiments, played some trivia, and had some great questions to ask the WBZ weather team. A great time was had by all. Students and families in grades kindergarten through 2nd were invited to family literacy nights at both Balch and Callahan schools. Students were able to experience a very summertime reading experience with a lot of opportunities to read or play reading games in summer environments. Kids were also invited to read The Flashlights in the Tent. There was fishing for words in our pool, campfire reads on the stage with the high school helper, beach reads in beach chairs, and beach pail gift buckets were raffled off. Special guests included the Coordinated Family and Community Engagement Coordinator, Marie Kidd, the Norwood Library, who was available with books to check out and library card registrations. Thank you to our Title I teachers in the district who coordinated the event: Mary Welch, Ellen Norton, Eileen Ryan, Sheila Vasquez, Brittany Wallace, and Christine LeBossiere. Miss Stephanie West, our ELA coordinator, was also an integral part of the planning and present at the event. Mystery readers have returned to the Callahan School. This is a wonderful way to include our community. Special appearance by Miss Wachowski's daughter, Tricia, a Norwood High School student, who surprised Nico Pinnick as a guest reader. The PTA sponsored several programs recently that included yoga for Shine Bright. Our students and staff gathered on the field for this relaxing and well-needed activity. In addition, Families gathered into our cafe to play bingo. It was a great time to have this activity back. Miss Brown offered 2 winners, Nico and Rocky, the chance to be principal for the day. Both boys will join Miss Brown in June. We can't wait to see what they have planned. At the Cleveland School, author Peter Reynolds, renowned for his children's book, The Dot, urged Cleveland students to connect, be kind, and create last week. The inspirational virtual author visit was facilitated by the Cleveland PTO.
1 cent, nickel, nickel, thick and fat. You're worth 5 cents, I know that.
The first grade students at the Oldham Elementary School hosted a poetry cafe for families. They showcased their choral poems as well as individual poems that they have written throughout the year. Poetry has been a way that the first grade students have been able to work on their reading and writing skills while showing off their creativity. It was a wonderful event that will always be cherished, a memory for all. The Prescott School hosted our firefighter liaison from Norwood Fire Department, Paul Ronco, who read aloud Running in Firefighter Boots, that touches on areas of inclusion, acceptance, and fostered great discussions with second graders. Karen Hurley, district physical therapist, and Liz Healy, physical educator and health teacher at the Prescott, were both instrumental in bringing this program to the Prescott as a part of the Unified Schools program. Kids have fantastic reflections about the abilities of all people and how we can all work together to achieve a common goal. The Prescott School looks forward to continuing the work of building an inclusive school community and will be hosting a guest speaker who participated in the Paralympics for our 4th graders next week. The Little Mustangs welcomed a furry friend to preschool this week. WBZ News anchor David Wade brought his golden retriever Ringo to visit some of the preschool classrooms. Ringo recently finished as a training as a therapy dog and wanted to see what preschool is all about. Just like the children on their first day of school, Ringo did not know what to expect, but the boys and girls all made him feel welcome. The way his tail was wagging at the Little Mustangs patted him. It looks like he had fun on his first day. Mr. Wade taught the boys and girls how to rub his paws with their fingers, and Ringo would reward them with lots of dog kisses. Researchers have found that children with autism and other special needs are more social when they're playing with therapy dogs as opposed to toys. Therapy dogs are kind and gentle and help children feel more ease and open to social behavior. The Little Mustangs can support this research as Ringo brought lots of smiles and laughter to the preschool classrooms. Well, that's it for school news. There's something interesting happening in our classrooms and schools every day, and thanks to all the educators who shared their news with us. Now let's send it over to Mike with the latest in sports.
Hello and welcome to the Sports Update. Before we take a look at this week's scores, we had some current and former Mustang athletes who received some outstanding athletic awards. Current seniors Joey Steves and Megan Olbreys were named to the Massachusetts Basketball Coaches Association Division II All-Senior Team, and Megan was also named the MBCA's Division II Player of the Year. Congrats to both Joey and Megan. In alumni news, a pair of brothers are tearing up the baseball field for their respective colleges. Class of 2019's Jay Wachowski and Bridgewater Bear was named the Massachusetts State Collegiate Athletic Conference Player of the Year after a stellar sophomore season. And younger brother, Robbie Wachowski, NHS Class of 2021 and freshman at Endicott College, was named third team All-Conference for the Commonwealth Coast Conference. Congrats to both Jay and Robbie on great seasons. Both of their teams have qualified for the Division III National Tournament and have also been placed in the same region, so stay tuned to next week's sports report to see if they face off against each other. Also, more alumni news. Class of 2021's Caroline Davey and her Stonehill women's lacrosse team was recently eliminated in the quarterfinals of the Division II National Tournament against Adelphi College by a score of 13-11. Caroline appeared in all 21 of the Skyhawks games this year, netting 5 goals in her freshman year. Now we're going to take a look at some of the scores at the high school. Baseball split a pair of games this week, starting with an offensive explosion on Monday. Kevin Broderick, Jonathan Demaray, Joey Steves, Sean Dittmeyer, Brian Mateer, and Miles Kitt all had multiple hits in the game, but the star of the game was senior captain George Tolman, who went 4 for 4 with the grand slam. The Mustangs came away with a 17-5 win. Then on Wednesday, the boys traveled to Westwood to take on the Wolverines. Norwood had the lead going into the bottom of the 7th inning, but Westwood plated 3 runs late to take the 6-5 walk-off win. Boys tennis had 2 tough Tri-Valley opponents this week, starting with a 4-1 loss over Ashland and then a 4-1 loss over Westwood. Girls tennis had a busy week, starting with a 3-2 win over Ashland, revenging a straight sets loss earlier this year. Then it was a 3-2 loss over highly ranked Dover Sherborne and a straight sets loss to Westwood. The Deadwood boys lacrosse team got back on the winning track this week with an 8-4 win over Ashland. Norwood senior Jack Curran had a great game in net. Then on Tuesday, they traveled to Milton and came away with a 13-8 win. It was a great performance after dropping an overtime heartbreaker to the Wildcats earlier this season. Softball had a busy week with 3 road games in a row, starting with Ashland on Monday. Senior Jenna Costa had a great game at the plate, and Kayla Reed shined defensively in the 13-4 win. Then on Tuesday, the Bats were alive, scoring a season-high 23 runs in a 23-2 crushing of Dover Sherborne. And their final game of the week came against a neighboring foe, Westwood. It was a really close game throughout, but Westwood squeaked out the 3-2 win in 8 innings. In track, the TVL hosted their league meet this past week, and there were some strong performances by the Mustang runners. Let's take a look at some of their finishes. Dylan O'Brien, 3rd in the 800. Dylan Hamway, 3rd in the mile. Isaiah Groupie, 3rd in the 100 meter. And the 4x100 team of Isaiah Groupie, Elias West, Jordan Woodley, and Eric Wally finished 3rd. In boys volleyball action, Monday, they took on King Philip and lost 3-0, and then took on Bellingham Wednesday afternoon. The Mustangs secured the first 2 games, and then Bellingham made a strong comeback in the 3rd match and continued their run all the way to the 5th. Seniors Matt Alds and Corbin McQuirk were aggressive in the front row, securing several points for the Mustangs. Senior Pawan Tamang led the back row, making dig after dig, setting up the front row for success. In the end, the boys lost by 2 points in the 5th set after a competitive match. And finally, girls lacrosse started off the week with a huge win over Milford. The girls got out early, scoring the first 3 goals of the game. From there, it was back and forth action as both teams traded goals. Milford made a late push, looking to have the Mustangs on their heels, but the girls dug deep and scored 3 goals late, extending their lead and coming away with the 14-12 win. The Olivias, Olivia Lodge and Olivia Naughton, led the way with 5 goals each for the Mustangs. We spoke to sophomore Olivia Naughton after the game.
So we decided to come back with a lot of energy this time because last time was a Saturday morning, so we're all tired and we were playing really flat. But this game we came with a lot of energy, and although at sometimes we did get flat, we really pulled through and we pushed the ball when we needed to, and our defense really stepped up and the transitions were really clean.
And it was pretty close in that second half. Talk us through the end of the game.
So the end of the game, it's getting close, and then we just turned it on. We brought out our 3rd level of energy, and we really just pushed it as hard as we could, and we brought it back.
Great win, girls. And now we are officially entering the last week of the regular season, and let's take a look at how some of the Mustang teams are standing in the power rankings. Baseball is sitting at number 16. Girls lacrosse is currently in the tourney at number 28. Boys lacrosse, who remember is now Division I due to their co-op, is just in the tourney at number 30. On the outside looking in is volleyball at number 35 and softball at number 41. Now keep in mind, if there's any teams outside of the top 32 with a 500 record or better, they will qualify for a play-in game in the tournament. Softball is currently 1 game under 500 with 3 games remaining left next week. If they win 2 out of 3 games, they will qualify for a play-in game in the tournament. Well, that's all for sports this week. We have a very busy broadcast schedule next week. Monday, we have live Senior Day coverage for boys lax at 3:45 and boys volleyball at 4. Wednesday, we will be live for varsity and JV boys lacrosse starting at 3:45. Thursday night, we will be live from the Balch Field for baseball against rival Walpole. And finally, we have Senior Day coverage for softball live from the Cleveland Field Friday at 4. Tune in to the NCM Community Channel for the coverage. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. In government, the Board of Health met Tuesday morning. The group discussed tobacco-related fines and listened to updates from the Regional Tobacco Program Coordinator. The Public Health Nurse Report detailed upcoming clinics at the Senior Center for blood pressure and for flu and COVID vaccines. Mental Health Awareness Training Program Director Francesca Golightly mentioned additional town-wide mental health training happening this week and all summer long for town employees. Drug-Free Communities Program Director Aubrey Seal presented her report detailing that an application was sent to the state for additional grant funding. Environmental Health Inspector Angelo DeLuca presented updates to the board related to new food establishments in town. Before adjournment, Health Director Stacy Lane shared her director's report with the group. The group meets again on June 21st. The school committee met remotely Wednesday evening. Cleveland Elementary School Principal Nancy Coppola presented the school's 2-year improvement plan. Next April, some NHS students will set off on international educational trips to Europe. NHS Latin teacher Ms. Holmes applied for a student trip to Italy. NHS History Department Chair Jen Orlinsky is leading another trip to England, Ireland, and Wales. Both trips were approved, and the committee wished them luck in the planning process. Director of Personnel Services Lori Semino updated the board on student services. Dave Thompson provided updates on the Callahan, Oldham, and Willett school improvement plans in his superintendent report. He also announced that the district has hired a fine arts director for the 2023 school year.
Okay, just quick search updates. So the central office part is now complete. We have hired Jeff Kerr as our director of fine arts, so that is complete. Jeff is currently the director of performing arts at the Portsmouth Abbey School. He is completing his CAGS, Certificate of Advanced Graduate Study at Bridgewater State University. He will have that done in June. He has held several leadership positions in the Rhode Island Music Educators Association, including being a board member and the editor of their journal. We're looking forward to him coming and joining our team.
For those interested in a presentation on the 2023 school start time changes, Dr. Thompson will host a Facebook Live on the Norwood Public Schools page to answer questions and concerns. Students and parents can watch the Facebook Live on Monday, May 23rd, starting at 6:30 p.m. In June, the Coakley 8th graders will continue the tradition and go to Canopy Lake Park for a fun day trip. Before ending his report, Superintendent Thompson made an announcement to the community in search of additional substitute teachers.
We are still looking for substitute teachers. We do have several college kids who have started back. They were working with us during the winter break, and they are coming back, but we could always use more. Subs is a problem. We have subs. It's mainly, making sure our classrooms are staffed and education is continuing and our schools are safe. So if you have a college student who has shown up and is not going to be doing their summer job to the middle of or end of June, I've got a great proposition for them. Please contact my office.
The committee discussed long-term agenda goals, including new communication goals, changes to public forum, and the upcoming traveling school committee meetings. The board meets next on June 1st. Also Wednesday night, the Conservation Commission held a virtual meeting with one public hearing on their agenda. Christine Walsh of CDW Consultants represented the Mass Water Resource Authority with their application for repair and maintenance of siphon structures and construction on an access road from the shoulder of Neponset Street and improvement of an access road behind 290 Vanderbilt Ave. The project came before the Conservation Commission because it is bordering vegetated wetland, riverfront area, and bordering land subject to flooding. Following the public hearing, the Commission discussed wetland issues and updates. To end the meeting, they covered the Conservation Commission business, which includes the Mylord Street Orchard Project, proposed trail connection at Meadow Street, access road at Peswick Park, and the Ending Orchard Subcommittee update. Their next meeting will be on June 1st. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for more town news.
Hello, I am Mary Foley. You are watching Norwood Community Media, your home for all things Norwood.
Welcome back. It was fun for everyone last Saturday as members of the community gathered at the high school turf for the first ever Norwood Unified Community Day. There were bouncy houses, cornhole boards, and plenty of activities to keep everyone in attendance smiling. High school junior Eve Andrews helped out running the event.
Here behind me we have Community Day going on. Kind of gives an opportunity that you wouldn't otherwise have to meet people from around town and just get out and enjoy the beautiful weather that we have today. It's really just a day to kind of be a kid, whether you are a kid or an adult, play a bunch of games, have fun. We have the water relays, which is run by some of the students at Norwood High and also some of the firefighters from the Norwood Fire Station. We have cornhole with some of the Norwood police officers, a bouncy house, a baseball thing, and we also have ring toss, Messy Backyard, which is a game I had actually never heard of, but people are having a lot of fun playing that. And we also are sponsored by a karate studio from Norwood, who is the white tent back there, and they're teaching some karate moves, and everyone's having so much fun. It's great. Some of our sponsors are CPAC Norwood, the Norwood Police Department, the Norwood Fire Department, and different rentals. We have a bunch of sponsors who've helped to put today together, and it's really fantastic. Anyone who wants to come join, it's so much fun. This is our first annual one. This is going to become an annual event, and we're just going to have, it's just going to get bigger every year, hopefully. More people are going to get involved. We're going to spread the word. So this year was kind of our test run, and it couldn't have gone better. Everyone's having a great time.
Great work by the community partners and volunteers on putting such a great event together. We are so looking forward to next year. Last Saturday, the Norwood Recreation Department celebrated their 37th annual dance recital. The dancers displayed all their hard work on the big stage in front of all their family and friends. Assistant Director of the Recreation Department, Katie Seastead, has more.
Hi Norwood, Katie Seastead here from the Recreation Department. We were so excited to have our 37th annual dance recital this past Saturday. We'd just like to thank all of our dancers, our families, our teachers, our dancing assistants, as well as the Norwood Community Media for filming. This is a big accomplishment for us. This is, like I said, the 37th dance season. Our season starts in September. However, our schedule for our 2022-2023 dance season will be coming up soon. So please keep a lookout on that. Once again, for our recital that happened this weekend, it was great. We had 2 recitals. We had our younger group at 3 o'clock, and then we had our older group at 5 o'clock. Our dancers did a terrific job, and then they were able to enjoy ice cream after the recital. So once again, we'd just like to thank our families, our dance instructors, NCM, as well as all of our dancers who did a terrific job. We look forward to see you guys on the big stage again next year. And if you have any questions about the Norwood Recreation School of Dance, please email cseastead@norwoodma.gov. We would love to see some new dancers for our upcoming dance season that starts in September. Thank you. Have a great day.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.